Now to a CBS 4 consumer alert. Check your fridge. Thousands of cases of cottage cheese have been recalled because they may be contaminated with metal and plastic pieces.
Pick up that tub of cottage cheese in your fridge right now. The one you bought for high-protein meal prep. Flip it over and read the ingredient list. Guar gum, xanthan gum, carrageenan, polysorbate 80, titanium dioxide, modified milk ingredients, sodium phosphate. That's not cottage cheese. That's industrial dairy engineering with texture modifiers and chemical stabilizers. Cottage cheese should be milk, cream, salt, and bacterial culture. 4 ingredients. Most brands sold at Woolies and Coles contain 8 to 15 additives. I spent weeks investigating cottage cheese brands in Australia. What I found? 9 brands are hiding problems behind fitness marketing and protein claims. Carrageenan linked to gut inflammation. Mystery milk from undisclosed dairy sources. Sodium levels hitting 25% of your daily limit in one serving. Number 1 is the worst. The premium organic brand charging double while delivering some of the highest additive counts. Let's expose them all. Avoid brand number 1. Jalna Organic Cottage Cheese. The premium organic brand fitness influencers promote. Jalna Organic. The light blue tub. Australian-owned since 1954. Organic certification. Premium pricing at $7 to $9 per 500-gram tub. Athletes buy it thinking organic means clean. Health-conscious families pay double thinking certified organic equals pure. Pregnant women choose it believing organic certification guarantees minimal processing. The organic milk sourcing is real. Australian Certified Organic stamp verifies that. But organic doesn't mean additive-free. Pull out a tub of Jalna Organic Cottage Cheese right now. Look at the ingredient list. Organic milk, organic cream, salt, culture, organic vegetable gum 412, vegetable gum 407, food acid 330, color 171. Color 171 is titanium dioxide, a white pigment used to make cottage cheese appear brighter and whiter than natural dairy, extracted from titanium ore, processed into nanoparticles, then added to food. The European Union banned titanium dioxide in food in 2022. France banned it earlier in 2019. Concerns about nanoparticle accumulation in organs and potential DNA damage led to the bans. Safe Food Australia still permits it. FSANZ allows titanium dioxide as color 171. But European food safety authorities decided the science showed enough concern to remove it entirely from food supply. Vegetable gum 407 is carrageenan, extracted from red seaweed used as thickener. Studies link carrageenan to digestive inflammation in sensitive individuals. Some research suggests it may trigger inflammatory bowel responses. Vegetable gum 412 is guar gum. Less concerning than carrageenan, but still a processed thickener extracted from guar beans, used to create uniform creamy texture. For organic cottage cheese, that's 4 additives beyond milk, cream, salt, culture. Organic certification covers farming practices, not processing methods. Athletes eating Jalna daily for protein get titanium dioxide nanoparticles banned in Europe. Pregnant women paying premium for organic get carrageenan linked to gut inflammation. Health-conscious families get highest additive count in the category despite organic claims. The Australian ownership is real. The organic milk is verified. The problem is what gets added during processing that organic certification doesn't prevent. If you're paying premium for Jalna, organic thinking. Organic means pure, titanium dioxide banned in Europe, plus carrageenan. Organic farming doesn't equal clean processing. Premium organic hiding, banned European additives, but the next brand adds even more chemical stabilizers. Avoid brand number 2. Bulla Cottage. Cheese. The ice cream company doing dairy. Bulla, Australian family owned since 1910. The yellow and red logo. Famous for ice cream, streets rival, Australian summers. Now making cottage cheese. Families buy it trusting the Bulla name from ice cream. Seniors choose it thinking Australian family owned equals quality. Children eat it because parents trust the brand from dessert aisle. The family ownership is real. Bulla remains Australian owned after over a century. But ice cream formulation methods don't belong in cottage cheese. Pull out Bulla cottage cheese. Look at ingredients. Skim milk, cream, milk solids, salt, stabilizers, including 412, 407, 460, 401, emulsifier 433, food acid 297, culture. Emulsifier 433 is polysorbate 80, a synthetic emulsifier made from sorbitol and oleic acid, common in ice cream to prevent fat separation and create smooth texture. Now appearing in cottage cheese. Polysorbate 80 helps mix ingredients that naturally separate. In ice cream, that makes sense. In cottage cheese, it signals overprocessing. Fresh dairy doesn't need synthetic emulsifiers to stay blended. Studies link polysorbate 80 to changes in gut bacteria. Research suggests it may affect intestinal barrier function. European food scientists debate whether it promotes inflammatory responses in sensitive individuals. Stabilizer 460 is polydextrose, a synthetic bulking agent made from dextrose, sorbitol, and citric acid, used to add bulk and texture without calories. Created in laboratory, not extracted from food. The sodium content hits 650 to 750 milligrams per 100-gram serving. That's 30 to 35% of your daily sodium limit. Athletes eating 200 grams. Post-workout, get 70% daily sodium from cottage cheese alone. 4 different stabilizers plus polysorbate 80. That's ice cream engineering applied to what should be simple fresh dairy. Families trusting Bulla name from ice cream get polysorbate 80 and polydextrose. Seniors eating for calcium get 70% daily sodium in double serving. Children getting cottage cheese as healthy snack get synthetic emulsifiers designed for frozen desserts. The Australian family ownership is genuine. The problem is bringing ice cream formulation chemistry into fresh dairy products. If you're buying Bulla cottage cheese, trusting the family name, polysorbate 80 from ice cream plus extreme sodium. Dessert chemistry doesn't belong in dairy. Ice cream methods in fresh dairy. Next brand hides behind budget pricing. If you're realizing cottage cheese isn't what fitness marketing suggests, hit that subscribe button right now. We investigate Australian food every week using ingredient databases and verifiable sources. No brand partnerships. Subscribe so you don't miss the next investigation. Avoid brand number 3. Woolworths/Coles, home brand, cottage cheese. The $2 budget option that seems harmless. Woolworths, essentials, cottage cheese. Coles cottage cheese, $2 to $3 per tub. Cheapest protein option in the dairy aisle. Budget families buy them weekly thinking. Affordable protein is still protein. The price hides something. Modified milk ingredients from undisclosed sources. Pull out home brand cottage cheese. Look at ingredients. Modified skim milk, cream, milk solids, salt, mineral salts, 450, 452, 451. Thickeners, 412, 407, 415. Culture, food acid, 297. Modified skim milk means milk that's been industrially altered. Could be ultra-filtered to concentrate protein. Could be heat-treated beyond standard pasteurization. Could be reconstituted from milk powder. The term modified hides the actual processing. Milk solids often means skim milk powder added to standardized texture. Dried milk reconstituted during production, instead of using fresh liquid milk throughout. Mineral salts 450, 452, 451 are sodium phosphates. 451 are sodium phosphates, used to control acidity and extend shelf life. Mineral salt 450 is disodium diphosphate. 452 is sodium polyphosphate. 451 is tripotassium diphosphate. These phosphates are synthetic chemicals binding moisture and preventing separation, not naturally occurring in dairy. Added during industrial processing to maintain uniform texture during distribution. Thickener 415 is xanthan gum, produced by fermenting sugar with bacteria. Creates slimy gel texture in liquids. The manufacturer isn't disclosed. Woolworths and Coles contract cottage cheese production to lowest bidder. Supplier changes quarterly based on pricing. The milk could come from anywhere. Processing standards meet minimum regulatory requirements. Budget families. Eating home brand daily get modified milk from unknown sources plus 3 different sodium phosphates. Pregnant women choosing affordable protein get undisclosed processing methods and mystery milk origin. Athletes buying budget protein post-workout get synthetic phosphates and xanthan gum. The $2 saving costs you in ingredient transparency and milk quality verification. No traceability. No disclosed standards. Just cheapest possible cottage cheese meeting legal minimums. If you're buying home brand cottage cheese to save money, modified milk from mystery sources plus sodium phosphates. Budget pricing hides processing reality. Mystery milk engineering. Next brand weaponizes probiotic marketing. Avoid brand number 4. Farmers Union Cottage cheese. The probiotic cottage cheese marketed as gut health. Farmers Union. South Australian dairy brand since 1888. Blue and white tub. Probiotic plus variety. Marketing emphasizes live cultures for digestive health. Premium positioning at $5 to $7. Health-conscious families buy it thinking probiotics mean healthy. People with digestive issues choose it believing live cultures help gut health. Athletes eat it thinking probiotic cottage cheese optimizes recovery. The probiotic cultures are real, but probiotic marketing hides the sodium problem. Pull out Farmers Union. Probiotic plus cottage cheese. Look at nutrition panel. Sodium per 100 grams. 750 to 850 milligrams. That's 35 to 40% of your daily sodium limit in 100 grams. Most people eat 200 gram servings. That's 70 to 80% of entire daily sodium limit in one serving. Probiotic benefit gets destroyed by sodium overload. Live cultures don't compensate for extreme salt-damaging blood pressure and kidney function. Look at ingredients. Skim milk, cream, milk solids, salt. Culture including probiotic cultures, stabilizers 412, 407, thickener 401, food acid 330. Salt content needed to hit 750 milligrams per 100 grams is massive, roughly 2% salt by weight. Seawater is 3.5%. This cottage cheese is halfway to ocean salinity. Stabilizer 401 is sodium alginate, extracted from brown seaweed. Another sodium source beyond added salt. Contributes to total sodium load. Open a tub and taste it. Salty, immediately salty. Salt hits your tongue before dairy flavor. That's not natural cottage cheese. That's engineered sodium delivery. Health-conscious families choosing probiotic version get 70% daily sodium-destroying blood pressure benefits. People with digestive issues get sodium-straining kidney function. Athletes eating post-workout get salt-loading counteracting hydration. The probiotics are legitimate. The sodium makes them irrelevant. You can't probiotic your way out of extreme salt. If you're buying Farmers Union probiotic for gut health, 750 milligrams sodium per 100 grams. Probiotic marketing hides salt bomb. Gut health claims masking sodium danger. Next brand adds carrageenan on top. Avoid brand number 5. Dairy Farmers Cottage cheese. The trusted Dairy Farmers brand since 1900. Dairy Farmers. The green logo, Australian icon for over a century. Founded by actual dairy farming cooperative in New South Wales in 1900. Marketing emphasizes farmer trust and Australian heritage. Seniors buy it, remembering the cooperative heritage. Families choose it thinking dairy farmers means farm fresh. Pregnant women trust it, believing farmer-owned equals quality. The cooperative died decades ago. Dairy Farmers is now owned by Lion Dairy and Drinks. Lion is owned by Kirin Holdings, a Japanese beverage conglomerate. Annual revenue over $15 billion. The Dairy Farmers brand is Japanese corporate property. Pull out Dairy Farmers cottage cheese. Look at ingredients. Milk, cream, milk solids, salt, stabilizer 407, thickener 412, culture, food acid 330. Stabilizer 407 is carrageenan, extracted from red seaweed through chemical processing, used to create thick, creamy texture in processed dairy. Carrageenan has documented concerns. Studies published in peer-reviewed journals link it to digestive inflammation. Research shows it may trigger inflammatory responses in gastrointestinal tract. Some scientists suggest it contributes to inflammatory bowel symptoms. Food standards. Australia. New Zealand permits carrageenan. But scientific debate continues. European researchers published studies showing carrageenan caused ulcerative colitis symptoms in animal models. Human studies show mixed results, but concerns remain. The International Agency for Research on Cancer classified degraded carrageenan as possible human carcinogen. Food-grade carrageenan is different from degraded form, but digestive acids can potentially break down food-grade carrageenan into degraded forms during digestion. Thickener 412 is guar gum, less controversial than carrageenan but still processed additive. Seniors eating dairy farmers daily for calcium get carrageenan linked to gut inflammation. Families trusting farmer heritage get Japanese corporate formulation. Pregnant women choosing it for protein get additive with ongoing scientific debate about digestive safety. The dairy farmer heritage is marketing. The Japanese ownership is corporate reality. The carrageenan is unnecessary additive with documented inflammation concerns. If you're buying dairy farmer's cottage cheese, trusting the name, carrageenan 407 plus Japanese corporate ownership. The cooperative died. The concerns remain. Farmer branding hiding corporate ownership and inflammatory additives. Next brand combines worst of everything. Before we get to the ultra-processed light versions and high-sodium Greek blends, smash that like button if this is opening your eyes. Share this with every Australian eating cottage cheese for protein. They need to know what additives are actually in those tubs. Avoid brand number 6, Paul's Cottage cheese. The Queensland dairy giant doing cottage cheese. Paul's. The yellow and blue logo. Queensland Dairy since 1932. Owned by Parmalat Australia. Parmalat owned by French dairy giant Lactalis. Third largest dairy company in the world. Annual revenue over 20 billion euros. Families buy it thinking established brand means quality. Athletes choose it for convenient protein. Budget shoppers grab it when on sale at Woolies. The Queensland heritage is marketing. The French corporate ownership is reality. Pull out Paul's Cottage cheese. Look at ingredients. Skim milk, cream, milk solids, salt, stabilizers 412, 407 460, emulsifier 471, thickener 401, culture, food acid 330, preservative 234. Preservative 234 is nisin, an antimicrobial peptide produced by bacteria, used to prevent spoilage and extend shelf life. Kills bacteria that would naturally spoil fresh dairy. Nisin allows cottage cheese to stay seemingly fresh for weeks, beyond what unpreserved dairy would last. The curds don't spoil visibly, but the freshness is chemical preservation, not actual freshness. Emulsifier 471 is mono and diglycerides of fatty acids. Synthetic emulsifier helping fats and water stay blended. Created through chemical process combining glycerol with fatty acids. Common in processed foods, not naturally occurring in dairy. 3 different stabilizers plus emulsifier plus preservative. That's 5 additives beyond milk, cream, salt, culture. Open a tub that's 2 weeks old. Smell it. No sour smell. No off odor. That should be suspicious. Fresh dairy without preservatives would smell slightly tangy after 2 weeks refrigerated. Nisin kills the bacteria that create those natural spoilage indicators. Taste it. Uniform texture. Creamy mouthfeel. That's mono and diglycerides creating processed smoothness. Natural cottage cheese has varied texture. Some curds firmer, some softer. Chemical emulsifiers eliminate that natural variation. Athletes eating Paul's for post-workout protein get Nisin preservative and synthetic emulsifiers. Families trusting Queensland heritage get French corporate formulation optimized for maximum shelf life. Budget shoppers get 5 additives in what should be simple fresh dairy. If you're buying Paul's Cottage cheese, preservative 234 plus synthetic emulsifiers. Chemical freshness isn't real freshness. Preserved freshness hiding real age. Next brand markets light and makes it worse. Avoid. Brand number 7. Yoplait is light. The light version marketed as healthier option. Yoplait Cottage Cheese Light. The blue tub with light prominently displayed. Lower fat content. Marketed to health-conscious consumers. Positioned as smart choice for weight management and heart health. Diabetics buy it thinking low fat means blood sugar friendly. Seniors managing weight choose it believing light equals healthier. People with heart disease eat it thinking reduced fat protects cardiovascular health. The reduced fat is real, but what replaces the fat is worse. Pull out Yoplait Cottage Cheese Light. Look at ingredients. Skim milk, milk solids, maltodextrin, cream, salt, thickeners. 412, 407, 415, 460, culture, food acid 330. Maltodextrin is highly processed white powder made from corn, rice, or potato starch, used as cheap filler and texture modifier when fat is removed. Maltodextrin has glycemic index of 110, higher than pure glucose at 100. Pure table sugar sits at 65. That means maltodextrin spikes blood sugar faster than eating spoonfuls of white sugar. For diabetics choosing light cottage cheese to manage blood glucose, Maltodextrin creates exactly the spike they're trying to avoid. 4 different thickeners appear. When you remove fat from dairy, you lose natural creamy texture. Manufacturers add multiple thickening agents to recreate creaminess chemically. Thickener 412 is gargum, 407 is carrageenan, 415 is xanthan gum, 460 is polydextrose. That's 4 synthetic thickeners compensating for removed natural dairy fat. Check sodium content. Light cottage cheese contains 650 to 700 milligrams sodium per 100 grams. Regular full-fat versions contain 500 to 550 milligrams. The light version has higher sodium than full fat. Removing fat requires adding salt to maintain flavor. Light means more sodium, not less. Diabetics, eating Yoplait. Light for blood sugar control get maltodextrin spiking glucose faster than sugar. Seniors managing weight get 4 synthetic thickeners replacing natural dairy fat. Heart disease patients choosing low fat get higher sodium than full-fat versions. The light label deceives. Lower fat doesn't mean healthier when maltodextrin and excess sodium replace it. If you're buying Yoplait Light thinking healthier, maltodextrin spikes blood sugar plus higher sodium. Light marketing hides worse formulation. Diet deception with blood sugar bomb. Next brand combines Greek style with processing problems. Avoid brand number 8, Chobani Cottage Cheese. The Greek yogurt brand doing cottage cheese. Chobani, American brand famous for Greek yogurt, launched cottage cheese in Australia. Premium pricing at $6 to $8 per tub. Marketing emphasizes high protein and Greek heritage quality standards. Athletes buy it trusting the Chobani protein reputation from yogurt. Health-conscious families pay premium thinking Greek style means authentic. Fitness enthusiasts choose it believing yogurt expertise transfers to cottage cheese. The protein content is real. But Greek yogurt formulation methods don't belong in cottage cheese. Pull out Chobani cottage cheese. Look at ingredients. Cultured skim milk, cream, milk protein concentrate, sea salt, cornstarch, locust bean gum, guar gum, natural flavors, citric acid, lactic acid, vitamin A palmitate, enzyme. Milk protein concentrate is ultra-filtered milk with water and lactose removed. Leaves concentrated protein powder. This boosts protein numbers on nutrition label artificially, not the same as protein naturally occurring in whole milk, cottage cheese. Cornstarch is added as thickener. Corn processed into white powder, then added to dairy. Used to create thick texture, mimicking Greek yogurt consistency. Traditional cottage cheese doesn't need starch thickening. Natural flavors is catch-all term, hiding hundreds of possible chemical compounds. Food manufacturers aren't required to disclose what specific chemicals comprise natural flavors. Could be anything. You have no way to verify. The sodium hits 700 to 800 milligrams per 100 grams. Premium pricing doesn't reduce sodium. You're paying more for same salt loading as budget brands. Open a tub and examine texture. Thick. Very thick. Almost paste-like. That's not natural cottage cheese consistency. That's cornstarch and double gum thickening, creating Greek yogurt texture in cottage cheese product. Taste it. The curds don't have individual texture. Everything blends into uniform thickness. Natural cottage cheese has distinct curds. This tastes like Greek yogurt trying to be cottage cheese, because that's exactly what it is. Athletes eating Chobani for protein get milk. Protein concentrate, not whole milk protein. Health-conscious families paying premium get cornstarch thickening and mystery natural flavors. Fitness enthusiasts get 700 milligrams sodium per 100 grams. Greek yogurt methods applied to cottage cheese create processed hybrid. The Chobani expertise is yogurt. This cottage cheese shows it. If you're buying Chobani cottage cheese, trusting yogurt reputation, milk protein concentrate plus cornstarch. Greek yogurt chemistry doesn't equal good cottage cheese. Yogurt methods in wrong product. Final brand weaponizes lactose-free marketing. Avoid brand number 9, Lidl's. Lactose-free cottage cheese. The lactose-free cottage cheese marketed as digestive-friendly. Lidl's, Australian lactose-free dairy brand. Purple and white packaging. Lactose-free cottage cheese. Marketed for people with lactose intolerance. Positioned as gentle on digestion and stomach-friendly. People with lactose intolerance buy it thinking lactose-free means digestive-friendly. People with IBS choose it believing it reduces bloating and discomfort. Families with sensitivities trust it, thinking removing lactose makes it cleaner. The lactose removal is real. Lactase enzyme breaks down lactose into simpler sugars. but enzyme treatment damages dairy structure, requiring extra additives to compensate. Pull out Lidl's lactose-free cottage cheese. Look at ingredients: lactose-free milk, cream, milk solids, salt, lactase, enzyme, stabilizers, 412, 407, 440, 415, emulsifier 471, culture, food acid 330. 4 different stabilizers appear. When lactase enzyme breaks down lactose, it also disrupts natural dairy protein structure. Cottage cheese curds lose natural texture. Manufacturers add multiple stabilizers to recreate texture chemically. Stabilizer 440 is pectin, extracted from citrus peels or apple pomace, used to gel liquids, normally found in jam, not dairy. Its presence shows how much structural rebuilding is needed after enzyme treatment. Emulsifier 471 is mono and diglycerides, added because enzyme-treated milk doesn't hold together naturally like untreated milk. The sodium content hits 650 to 700 milligrams per 100 grams. Removing lactose doesn't reduce sodium. You still get 30 to 35% daily limit per serving. Open a tub and smell it. Slightly sweet. That's the broken down lactose now existing as glucose and galactose. Simple sugars smell sweeter than complex lactose. Taste it. Sweet aftertaste. The enzyme treatment creates sweetness that regular cottage cheese doesn't have. The texture feels reconstructed, not naturally curded. The 4 stabilizers create artificial structure, replacing what enzyme treatment destroyed. People with lactose intolerance choosing Lidl's get 4 stabilizers, compensating for enzyme damage. People with IBS get additives, potentially triggering different digestive issues than lactose would. Families with sensitivities get most processed cottage cheese in category. Lactose-free doesn't mean additive-free. Removing one problem creates multiple others. If you're buying Lidl's for digestive health, 4 stabilizers plus emulsifier reconstructing enzyme damaged structure. Lactose-free creates processing dependence. Go check your fridge right now. Walk to your fridge right now. Pull out that cottage cheese tub. Count the additives. Titanium dioxide banned in Europe. Carrageenan linked to inflammation. Polysorbate 80. Sodium phosphates. Maltodextrin. Niacin preservatives. Modified milk from mystery sources. 9 brands hiding industrial processing behind fitness marketing and protein claims. Real cottage cheese should be milk, cream, salt, bacterial culture. 4 ingredients: natural curds, simple dairy, no gums, no emulsifiers, no synthetic stabilizers, no color additives, no preservatives. 2 options actually deliver that in Australia. Safe pick. Number 1. Makers and Shakers. Cottage cheese. Small batch. Victorian producer, available Melbourne farmers markets and independent retailers. Made weekly in small batches. Ingredients are organic milk, organic cream, salt, culture. 4 ingredients total. No titanium dioxide, no carrageenan, no polysorbate 80, no gums, no modified milk. Just fresh dairy, cultured naturally. Price is $8 to $10 per 300 grams. Premium pricing. Limited availability. Not at Woolies or Coles. Farmers markets only. Richmond, Prahran, South Melbourne markets stock it. The curds are irregular, different sizes, some firm, some softer. That's natural cottage cheese, not engineered uniformity. Texture varies batch to batch because it's actual fresh dairy, not stabilized product. Shelf life is 7 to 10 days, not 3 weeks. Real dairy spoils. That's how you know it's real. For Melburnians with farmers market access, willing to pay premium for actual cottage cheese. Small batch. Traceable. Clean. Safe. Pick number 2. Make your own milk, cream, vinegar, or lemon juice. Salt. Heat milk to 80 degrees. Add acid. Curds form. Strain. Add cream and salt. Done. 30 minutes. Total control. 0 additives. You know exactly what goes in. Cost is $3 to $4 using supermarket organic milk. Cheaper than premium brands. Cleaner than anything on shelves. 9 cottage cheese brands hiding problems behind protein marketing. Jalna Organic with titanium dioxide banned in Europe. Bulla with ice cream emulsifiers. Home brand with modified mystery milk. Farmers Union probiotic with extreme sodium. Dairy farmers with carrageenan inflammation concerns. Paul's with niacin preservatives. Yoplait Light with maltodextrin blood sugar bomb. Chobani with milk protein concentrate and cornstarch. Lidl's lactose-free with 4 stabilizers reconstructing enzyme damage. If this changed how you see cottage cheese, subscribe now. We investigate Australian food weekly. No sponsorships, just facts. Share this with every Australian eating cottage cheese for protein. Read those ingredients. Count those additives. Choose wisely.